all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning. What a day it was for the markets yesterday. Not just the equity markets, but also the bond and the currency market. I'm Alex Matthew, and I'll tell you all about that and more on this daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint. Today is the 21st of May. Equity markets surged yesterday after exit polls of the weekend suggested that the BJP-led NDA would manage to comfortably retain power at the centre. While the Nifty and Sensex jumped 3.7% each to close at records, the Nifty Bank rose 4.45%. The Indian rupee appreciated by 48 paise, the biggest single-day gain in 2 months, to close at 69.74 against the dollar. And finally, the yield on India's 10-year benchmark bond ended over 7 basis points lower at 7.3%. Now, whether or not there is a moderation in those levels in the near term, Morgan Stanley believes that the Sensex is heading even further on the back of earnings growth. The chief equity strategist for Asia and emerging markets, Jonathan Garner, expects the Sensex to hit the 42,000 mark this year itself. Yesterday's closing level, just by the way, was 39,352.67 points. That optimism showed in the data on foreign institutional flows into equity in yesterday's session after selling for 11 back-to-back sessions. FII's net bought Indian equity worth about 1,735 crore rupees. For the month so far, they have now net sold close to 8,500 crore. In corporate news, ArcelorMittal has told the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal that it will pay 42,000 crore rupees, including a minimum guarantee of 2,500 crore rupees as working capital to acquire Essar Steel under the insolvency process. Senior advocate Harish Salve, who is appearing for ArcelorMittal, also accused the Ruiyas, who are the former Essar Steel promoters, of creating hurdles in the resolution process of the bankrupt steel maker. In the regulatory space, the Securities and Exchange Board of India yesterday released a framework for the creation of an innovation sandbox. This is aimed at providing financial technology firms and unregulated market participants an environment to test their new solutions with markets data. Now, you may have to pay more the next time you go to insure your vehicle. The insurance regulator is proposing an increase in the motor third-party premium rates on cars, two-wheelers and transport vehicles for the current financial year. In international news, US carmaker Ford will fire about 7,000 salaried individuals, or 10% of its global white-collar workforce. The cuts, which will save about $600 million, will be completed by the end of August and are far less drastic than the 25,000 job cuts that a Morgan Stanley analyst had predicted last year. Iran has quadrupled its enriched uranium production, the semi-official Tasneem news agency reported. The country hasn't gone beyond the agreed-upon limit set forth in its 2015 deal meant to prevent it from developing a nuclear bomb, but the move will only add to rising tensions in the Gulf. In international markets, US equities sank overnight as the fallout of the White House's moves against Chinese telecom giant Huawei caused technology shares to plummet and stoked trade fears. The tech-heavy Nasdaq declined 1.5%, while the Dow and S&P 500 ended lower by 0.3 and 0.7% respectively. In Asia this morning, the three early rises have begun mixed, with the equity indices in Australia and Japan opening in the red, and the one in South Korea gaining about 0.4%. With that, it's over to Darshan Mehta, who will tell you all about the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Darshan. How are we looking today?
Hi Alex, good morning everyone. We are off to a muted start today after a blockbuster rally. The SGX Nifty is indicating a flat outlook. But in terms of earnings, Tech Mahindra is the Nifty company that will report numbers today. Among other results, DLF, JSPL, Aarti Industries, Bharat Financial Inclusion, Bosch, Crompton Greaves Consumer will report numbers. As far as results are concerned, Tata Motors numbers were in line with estimates. JLR margin did slightly better than what was anticipated. The ADR ended up 5%, so probably the stock will be in focus today. Strong numbers from both HPCL and BPCL. In terms of other numbers, strong numbers were reported from Dhampur Sugar Mills, stable numbers from Philip Carbon Black, Astral Poly, Confidence Petro, while a host of weak numbers, HEG, Torrent Pharma, Jindal Stainless, Lakshmi Machine Works, Shri Pushkar, as well as UB reported weak set of numbers. Adani Greens Energy's two promoters will sell 5.59% stake in the company. The promoter will sell up to 8.75 crore shares at a floor price of 43 rupees, which is almost at par to the current market price when offer for sale. GAIL India will consider a bonus issue on May 27. Panacea Biotech's formulation facility in Himachal Pradesh receives the US FDA approval for the manufacture and supply of an injection for the US markets. It's a chemotherapy drug. 8K Miles will be in focus. The board seeks extension and permission from submitting the annual report up to July 30th due to delay in compilation of consolidated financial statements of the company. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab and you will be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a lovely day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.